The sun was rising, casting a warm glow over the small town of Ajegunle. As Tunde packed his bags, his mother sat beside the door, her eyes shining with both pride and worry. "Remember who you are, Tunde. Don't let Lagos change you," she said, giving him a tight hug. "I won't forget, Mama. I will make you proud, I promise," Tunde replied, feeling a mix of sadness and excitement. The bus ride to Lagos was long and rough, but Tunde's dream filled the trip with hope. He watched as the familiar sight of his town gave way to the new and unknown. As he get to Lagos, Tunde saw tall buildings and busy streets, all buzzing with energy. Stepping off the bus in Lagos, the city's noise and crowds hit him like a wave. It was all so different from his quiet hometown. Just as he was wondering where to start, he bumped into Nneoma, dropping her things all over the sidewalk. As they picked up her scattered items, they started talking. "You are new here?" Nneoma asked, noticing his guitar. "Yeah, just arrived. I am Tunde," he said with a smile. "I am Nneoma. Looks like you are here to play music. Need someone to show you around," she offered kindly. "That would be great," Tunde replied, feeling relieved to have met someone so friendly. Nneoma knew a lot about the city. In the following weeks, she took Tunde to places where musicians played. He started performing at small bars and clubs, where people quickly began to enjoy his music. Tunde was happy. His new life was off to a good start. One evening, after a great performance, a well-dressed man approached him. This was Mr. Johnson, a big name in the music business. "You have got a real talent, Tunde. How about we make you famous?" Mr. Johnson suggested an exciting offer. Tunde felt a rush of excitement. This was his big chance. He eagerly agreed to meet Mr. Johnson the next day to talk more. But that night, Tunde felt a bit worried. Everything was moving so fast. Could it really be as good as it seemed? The next morning, Tunde stood in front of a tall office building in the busy part of Lagos. The building was shining and looked expensive. He was about to meet Mr. Johnson, a famous music producer. As Tunde entered the office, he was impressed by how fancy everything was. There are pictures of famous musicians and gold records everywhere. "Welcome, Tunde. Let's sit down and talk about your future," Mr. Johnson said with a big smile, showing him a comfortable seat. Mr. Johnson started talking about making Tunde a star. "We will make albums, go on tours, and get your song on the radio," he explained with excitement. He pushed a big contract toward Tunde. "This paper is just ordinary stuff. You make the music, we do the business. You are going to be big." Tunde felt excited but also a bit worried. The contract was long and had a lot of hard words. "Can I take this home? I would like to read it and think about it," he said carefully. Mr. Johnson's smile faded a little, but he agreed. "Sure, but don't wait too long. This chance won't last forever." Tunde left the office feeling unsure. He decided to talk to Nneoma, a friend who knew a lot about music in Lagos. They met at a cafe where she was playing her guitar. "Hey Tunde, how did it go?" Nneoma asked. Tunde told her everything and gave her the contract to look at. She read it and looked concerned. "Tunde, this contract says they will own your music completely and they aren't paying you much." "That is what I was afraid of," Tunde admitted. "It seems nice, but something feels wrong." "You need to be careful," Nneoma said. "Mr. Johnson has a bad reputation. I have heard stories from other musicians." Tunde talked to other musicians who had worked with Mr. Johnson. Many of them felt cheated. They told him about bad contracts and not getting paid properly. While Tunde was trying to decide what to do, his mother called him from their home. She was sick and needed money for treatment. Tunde was now in a tough spot. He needed money fast to help his mother. After thinking hard about it, he decided to sign the contract. It wasn't perfect, but he needed the money. Soon, Tunde became very popular. His songs were on radio, and he was doing concerts everywhere. He sent money home, and his mother got better. But as he became more famous, Tunde started feeling trapped. Mr. Johnson controlled everything he did. Tunde felt like he wasn't making his own music anymore. He was becoming famous, but he wasn't happy. As Tunde became more famous, he felt more and more trapped. Every new song and big show were great, but he was stuck in a bad deal with Mr. Johnson. To many, Tunde's life looked perfect, but behind the scene, it was full of tricks and lies. One night, while getting ready for a big show in Lagos, Tunde heard some voices from Mr. Johnson's office. He listened closer and realized they were talking about him. Mr. Johnson was bragging about how he had fooled Tunde into signing a contract that was really unfair. They laughed about making lots of money off Tunde's hard work. This hurt Tunde deeply. Upset and feeling betrayed, Tunde confronted Mr. Johnson right after the show. They argued, and Mr. Johnson said, "That is just how the music business works." Tunde realized he had to fight back. The next day, Tunde called Nneoma. "I have to get out of this deal," he told her. "I don't want my music controlled by someone who only cares about money." "You are doing the right thing," Nneoma said. Supporting him, she helped Tunde find a good lawyer who knew a lot about music contracts. The fight to get out of the contract was hard. Mr. Johnson had a lot of powerful friends and a lot of money, but Tunde wasn't alone. Other musicians who had been cheated by Mr. Johnson joined in. They all wanted to stop Mr. Johnson from cheating artists unfairly. News of Tunde's fight spread, and soon many people supported him. Famous musicians also spoke up, saying the industry needed to change and be fair to artists. After a long battle in court, Tunde won. He was free from his contract and could make music his way again. It was a tough fight, and Tunde had lost a lot, but he had also gained his freedom and learned a lot about standing up for what is right. Tunde went back to make music the way he wanted. He played in smaller places and worked with friends who believed in fair treatment. His new album, based on his experiences, really connected with people. It was about staying strong and being true to yourself. At one of his concerts, Tunde's mom came to see him. She was proud and happy to see him doing well on his own terms. After the show, she hugged him and said, "You did it. Staying true to yourself is the biggest win." Tunde learned that honesty and passion are what make music special. With true friends like Nneoma, he wasn't just making music, he was also helping to make the music industry better and fairer for everyone. The story showed that fighting for what you believe in is always worth it.